The X-Men franchise under 20th Century Fox proved to be quite the mixed bag. It it has its highs, X-Men 2, Days of Future Past. It has its lows, like Origins Wolverine or Apocalypse. If we're going to ignore the Deadpool movies, which a lot of people are doing now, they're saying the Deadpool movies don't count, especially because it looks like they're going to fold the Deadpool movies into the MCU. Um, we're going to talk about the best of the X-Men franchise today. I've talked about the crap. I've talked about um, Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. Ugh. Today we're going to talk about a movie that came out in between those, and it's baffling to me how a franchise can go from such lows to such highs to such lows again. Today we're going to be talking about Logan. Logan was directed by James Mangold, and it stars Hugh Jackman in what he declared was going to be his last performance as Wolverine. He'd been playing Wolverine at that point for 17 years. He was iconic in the role. Even in the bad movies, he was always giving it his all. You can't blame X-Men Origins Wolverine on him. And to go from like the if you just look at Wolverine as a trilogy, Origins, The Wolverine, and Logan, it's amazing to see this jump in quality between the movies. It gets better and better to the point where Logan is practically a masterpiece. The movie picks up in the near future, and basically there haven't been any mutants born in years. The X-Men are all dead, except for Professor X, again played by Patrick Stewart, who, how he didn't get a Best Supporting Actor nomination for this, I don't know. And he's got dementia, he's got to be kept kind of away from everybody because this dementia can bring on fits that triggers his psychic abilities and could kill people. And now Logan he's old. The adamantium on his skeleton is slowly poisoning him, and his healing ability is wearing off. He's dying. This is not a glamorous sort of portrait of a superhero. It's got a lot of good action to it, but this is much more a drama than anything else. And it's fantastic. It shows what you can do with these superheroes if you let a creative mind helm them. The movie's R-rated. The violence is harsh. You got the language, of course. The movie becomes a road trip movie where Logan he's taking care of this little girl. He's trying to get her to a safe haven for young mutants. And he and Professor X are on this trip trying to outrun this agency that's been experimenting on these mutants that have been born, and trying to turn them into weapons, as they tried to do to Logan. The relationship with the little girl is very tender. Logan doesn't like her at first, and grows to love her. There's a very strong family element to this movie that really sells it. Now, there is one glaring problem with the movie that, to me, keeps it from achieving masterpiece level. And that is Logan's main adversary in the movie, who is Logan. Basically, they've cloned him, and he has to fight this clone. Now, two things. One, if you're going to clone him, and you've got Old Man Logan, de-age the clone to at the very least look like a younger Hugh Jackman. They didn't do that. It's just Hugh Jackman with kind of a shorter hairstyle. But the other thing is, and this is, to me, I don't understand why nobody thought of this, bring back Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth. He was the only real good thing about X-Men Origins Wolverine. He was fantastic as Sabretooth, and you could have had that brother dynamic between the two of them. That would have added another familial kind of a element to the movie. They don't do that. Somebody had to have thought of it. Somebody had to have suggested it, but they don't do it. And that is what, to me, is the worst part of the movie by far. I get what they're going for. He's fighting himself. You know, it's a struggle between Logan and his inner self and inner demons, blah, 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 blah. I don't think it works. It definitely is something that I wish that they had gone a different route with. Now, I do have, this is my volume 2 of my X-Men collection, which you've all seen, because I think that the only X-Men movies I've reviewed so far have been from volume 2. I wish that they only hold these cases 6 discs. Now, Logan has a black and white version. It's called Logan Noir, which I own. And I can't fit it in here because of goddamn Dark Phoenix. I still would recommend the color version, but Logan Noir is an interesting thing to check out. They're doing this a lot now. They did it with The Mist. They did it with Mad Max Fury Road. They did it with the recent Snyder Cut. It's not the way that I prefer to watch it, but I've watched it once. It's worth a look if you can find it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give Logan 4 out of 5 stars. If they had done something about the clone, especially if they brought back Liev Schreiber, this would be 5 out of 5. This would be one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. As it stands, it's just shy of that. I don't know if it would make my top 10. It would definitely make my top 20. Logan. If you're a fan of the X-Men movies, go check it out. If you're not a fan of the X-Men movies, go check it out. It's not quite a superhero movie, and I think that is its strength. Hugh Jackman, I hope he really stays retired, because if suddenly he came out of retirement to do MCU movies, it would cheapen Logan. And as it stands, that is the best that the X-Men franchise under 20th Century Fox ever offered. And it is the movie that should have ended that franchise.
Other worlds. Sort of gave myself the challenge of, okay,